and Zeke.
Let's go.
Let's rock.
All right. So of course it's going to be recorded, so everybody knows. We'll try to make it quick as possible, so everybody can go do the other stuff. We just have a few things to talk about and some decisions to be made. Everybody ready?
Amanda Kurt, I
All
am
right.
here.
All right.
Zeke
This
here.
is
Hello.
the recording of
Who's
the
here?
board meeting for
And
731
Walker's here.
Warfare Weekend. We're going to go ahead. We need to take a quick roll call. Of course, I'm aka Gonzo, Eric Gonzalez. I'm here. Amanda, Zeke, Lynn, Walker. The entire board is here. Woohoo! Congratulations, everybody. All right, so we have a few things to discuss. Sales are going on of the badges. Of course, I expected us to have a lull the week before Gen Con, the week of Gen Con, and the week after Gen Con. But currently, our bank account is good, but we have sold... I forgot to pull this up. Give me 1 second. We are, dang it, wrong one. We are sitting at $7,785 in ticket sales, badges, I should say. $83 in merch. Tickets, we've had about 840. So we've got $8,708.37 right now. And like I said, I expected us to have small ticket sales last week, this week, and next week. The week after Gen Con, we'll start pushing things out and getting more people and pimping and such. So we'll just have to wait till that goes on. But technically, convention's already paid for by keeping that extra money in the account. So we're got back up. So whenever we go to start
I'll talk
pimping
to
this, we
Dave
need to make sure we're
about
sharing
attaching
it.
a
We
link
also
to
need to
our
make sure
website.
that everybody is putting it out to all the different groups. I've already done a blast on social
Okay.
media. So it was like $200 in
Right.
advertisement.
Did Kat
We got actually some
send in
pretty
her
decent reach on
application?
that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you'll need to pimp out, tell your guys to start pimping out, like, because nobody signed up for Age of Sigmar yet. Nobody signed up for BattleTech stuff. Your guys, BattleTech stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kat did send in her application, send in her contract. We do have a 10 by 10 that is open. Two Thin Coats is not coming, which I'm not surprised. A lot of companies are very much
5 years.
Right.
very picky on what conventions they're going to right now. Parabellum, just Conquest. They are not able to send price support. I told them that doesn't matter. We already have price support from them. Yeah. But they are also being very, very picky about where they're going and who they're seeing and what they're doing. So tons of people are, I've heard this from a lot of TOs and a lot of different conventions that costs are just way too high for a lot of conventions. I know that we were talking Gen Con for a 10 by 10 minimum, not in the main thoroughfare, is $3,000 now. Nova, a 10 by 10 is $1,800, and that's not counting like electricity, Wi-Fi, all the other stuff you have to buy. So it's getting really ridiculous. So when we talk to people, we need to really pimp out that
No, you didn't. You were fine.
$75.
Right,
That's it.
That's a lot of. That's
Unless you're
the
taking
meetings that
classes.
I have lined up. That always
I
gets
know Lynn will
brought in
pimp
there
whenever
too. Is
she's at
anything
Gen
about
Con, and
Warfare
I know
Weekend
the
and stuff
artists
like
that are
that.
at
So
Gen
you're
Con will
right.
start pimping. But like the week after Gen Con, I'll start pimping out on Facebook and all of our other social medias. Sorry, Lynn, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, because it's like once you break it
Yeah.
down, it's like I think
And
what a
everybody
lot of
needs
it
to,
is that with
Pimped it
conventions
locally.
and stuff, the big
Did
thing
have
is
somebody
you sit
email
there, you
saying
see
that
the
they wanted to
badge, you
go,
see
but they
that the
thought it was too
badge is like,
expensive, and they
say,
had a question about
Gen Con
badges.
is like
And then I just explained to it, and they're like,
$125,
"Oh,
$130
okay,
now, whatever
shit,
it is.
okay."
And
And then
then
they went and bought a VIG.
140 it was. Okay, thank you. So I knew it went up from 125, but I was just roundabouting. But anyway, point is, you sit there and you see, the badge, and then you're like, oh, and then hotel, and then food, and then this, and then that, and and then next thing you know, it just goes up, 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 and then travel has become exponentially more expensive. So that's separate from the con. That's a separate thing. And then like the quality that you get for the travel is absolute shit. It's like, it's not like, oh yeah, travel's more expensive, but you get even the same quality. You don't even get the same quality of what it was before COVID. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Where's that at? Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
it's. Some people are going. I've had some people say, "Well, it's $75," and I go,
And then,
"Yeah, how much did you
Jesus,
pay?"
I
Because
thought that
I was
my
talking to the
instructors, including myself, were
Wolfnet Radio
underselling
guys,
ourselves to
and
the
they said to
classes.
play in
So
one
GW
BattleTech event this
is
year,
taking up a
the
spot
badge
in
is
the
almost
classroom. Whatever, that's fine.
$270.
But like their classes, they are like
Gen Con.
58
Yeah,
to
because it's a 2-day event.
$160 something for a class. And I was like, oh geez, one is pretty good when you break it down because you get like a big figure with it or whatever, but like still, like the other classes, it was like 80 something, 50 something, and it's like, holy crap. Traveling anywhere now is like if you're not driving down the road, is like a rich man's game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that, like the hotels, Gen Con minimum $500 a night for some places. Even the smaller conventions are getting to be ridiculous on the hotel rooms, and there's getting to be like $400 to $500 a night for like places at Nova and Dragon Con, which is smaller than us. Their hotel room is $500 a night. So that's another good thing we can do to pimp if people start saying it's only $119 a night. You get 5 people a room, you ain't paying shit. Type thing. So we're not doing bad. Nothing. I'm not worried about anything. So I'm trying to book that last 10 by 10. I'm working with somebody. But we'll have to wait and see. It was a Tabletop Armory is the newest one they've requested. I got a list of people to go down for vendors.
Damn.
Oh, through the hotel.
Anything else I can think of
I'm in the
wrong
wise? We do have someone that's going to record video at the convention, but I told them how much it would cost to stream, and they said no. Which, if anybody doesn't know, it costs roughly $1,000 for the weekend for one landline in one wall. Yes.
Oh God.
Yeah, it cost us $800 plus dollars. It was already written in the contract, but it cost us $800 plus dollars for one landline in one wall. So if someone else wants to plug into another wall in the same room, it costs another $800. Yeah, that's the reason why people don't do streaming unless they've got big money behind them, aka GW, AMG, that type of stuff.
Right.
And once people find that out, they're like, okay, I understand. So. But they're going to be doing recording. I gave them 2 badges, or 3 badges, because they got 2 guys that are running the equipment and commentating, and they got a guy running all the equipment. So I'm like, I can give you 3 badges. Y'all are going to be recording all weekend.
Those are my
working.
Indiana
They're
guys.
volunteering.
Guys, because I'm in their Discord, and they mentioned about they're running.
Did have someone
TI,
reach out that wants to run a Twilight Imperium event, and they're trying to scam us. I'm going to tell him we can't give him. He was like, well, I'm going to run a Twilight Imperium on Friday, and my friend's going to run a Twilight Imperium on Saturday. So we get 2 free badges for the entire weekend, right?
No.
Yeah. Matthew Frost or Forst. Yeah, he's not going to get. I'm about to send him an email saying no, we're not going to give him a free badge just to run one Twilight Imperium event, and his buddy run one Twilight Imperium. No, so that's going to be. I've got that email ready. I'm like, now if Matthew runs it on Friday and Saturday, I can see giving him a free badge. The Twilight Imperium takes about 10 hours to play. And if he's running a Twilight Imperium for Friday and Saturday, fine. But not one for each person. Yeah. So you may have to reach out to them if they get kind of pissy. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are tripping. Let's go with the big thing in the room. Zosha did email me back. She says, thank you for the response. I was under the impression that Jake would be responding, but he informed me this weekend I should reach out. I guess I will use this chance to pick up the conversation where it left off, as I had reached out numerous times shortly after last year's with no response. And the question is she wants to know what's going on.
Go on, I'm sorry.
She wants to know why Amanda why Amanda wanted to kick everybody out instead of and we forced her to do warnings. Amanda and I were already talking about this. Amanda's telling her she's full of shit. Sorry. And so what it is I drafted a letter, thank you ChatGPT, which will say, while we sincerely appreciate your interest, I regret to inform you that we are unable to disclose the requested information due to confidentiality constraints. Please understand that protecting the confidentiality and privacy of our clients, customers, and partners is of utmost importance to us. We must adhere to strict guidelines and legal obligations to maintain the trust and integrity of our relationships.
How much
If there are any
energy
other
has she
way
spent
we can
on
assist
this?
you, or if you have any non-confidential inquiries, please feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
We remain committed to providing excellent service while respecting the
just
privacy
done
of
with
all
this?
parties involved. Thank you for your understanding, Warfare Weekend board members. Anybody got a problem with that, Amanda? She won't. So, yeah. This is her life.
Well, is she writing a book? Why the hell does she have right to all that info anyway?
Yeah, if she asks any more questions, confidentiality-wise, about the incident,
that's Zosha in a nutshell,
I will say we were not
unfortunately.
commenting on this anymore. If you have
So-
any other information,
so just
if
quick
you have
question,
any
because I
other
know
questions, we'll be able to help you. But we are
Adepticon
not
or whatever
answering any
about
more questions.
Jake
We are not
being
even
banned. Like,
commenting
what's
on
the
it
situation?
anymore.
Like, is he still banned?
It's because she thinks she does. That's her problem. She thinks she's the champion of all women. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Jake is not
Right, I remember
banned.
that.
Jake did delete his post because he realized that what he posted was a lie. And Adepticon pretty much told him that if he didn't delete it, they were going to sue him for slander because they called out one of the Adepticon people by name that wasn't even involved with it. Yeah, and so Jake is not banned from Warfare Weekend. He apologized. He says, I'll delete it, so on and so forth. But we need to make a decision, and we need to do this because I have been told by quite a few other people that if Zosha tries to show up, they won't show up. And I'm talking about our major contributors. Nobody wants Zosha there anymore.
Since
Even
I'm fat,
players
can my vote count
don't
as
want
two?
Zosha there anymore.
And I don't think you're going to need the extra
She is
vote.
toxic.
I think we're all pretty much in agreement on this.
She is very toxic.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to put it towards a vote.
Yep.
Ban Zosha for at least this
Yes.
year. You're not fat. Yes. Yeah. So, motion carried forward. Yep. So Zosha is banned at least for this year. After I send this email, I will send another email saying that, hey, board has made a decision that you are not welcome this year. But next year we will look into any time of, letting you back in. Type thing, but not this year. Also, we have to do the same thing for Josh and Rena because there's been some situations that have happened outside of the convention affecting other people's businesses that they have been requested that they not participate this year either. They've affected not only local businesses, they have been spreading some
events
other
that
things
we're
to
holding
help
are supposed to be
Zosha
fun.
on even more.
It's if we wanted a Jerry
So,
Springer go to a
They
Jerry
are
Springer
actually
show,
going to
well,
be
God rest him,
banned
whatever.
also.
But like,
Unless
then
someone
we
has
would
something else
hold
they
a
want to
different
say
kind
or
of
they
con,
want to
wouldn't we?
stand up for them and say
Yeah, it just feels
whatever.
weird. It's a gaming con, guys. Like, just come here, play games, and go home.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so band also,
Right,
same
it's a
type of
hotel.
thing. I doubt they're going to show up. Now, we cannot stop them from showing up in the hallways in the hotel because I did talk to the hotel and they said that we cannot enforce any guidelines on anybody that is in the hallways, everybody that's not in the convention hall.
Yeah,
Type
they don't
thing.
have a badge.
Because it's a hotel. Perfectly fine. If they come downstairs, if they go into
Oh, no, I
any
was
of
just
our
going to ask, you
rooms,
might have been following this
yes,
up.
we
What
can.
happens
And that is
if
considered
that's the case? Does the
trespassing.
hotel intervene?
And so,
Okay.
like, I don't want to, but if you tell them, hey, you can't be in here, and they come back in, it is considered trespassing at that time. Correct. And everybody has to have a badge. Amanda, I'm sorry, did you say something? Oh, yes, they do. I have already talked to the hotel. They will have security on site. They've had security on site every year. They've actually had a police officer on site every year. And we will have a phone number that people will call, or we can go up to them and say, hey, this individual is trespassing. And I'm sure the cop is going to say, hey, leave or I'm going to take you in. And then eventually, if they, don't comply, then they'll arrest them for trespassing. And then they'll lose their hotel room and all the other stuff that goes along with it. And then they've got a record. And then they're permanent banned. Yeah, I honestly don't think Josh or anybody else is going to come and show up. I don't think Zosha is going to show up. I think it's just going to go by. Everything's going to go through. Zosha is actually very hurt because she's getting banned
That's what I was going to say.
not liked and just...
Before
She's
we get
actually
too
having
far off this
also other
topic,
issues
I
besides
don't
Warfare
need it.
Weekend.
I have
I know that
incident
there's been
report
some issues
drafted pulled up on my
going on
screen.
another
I
thing that she's
have some
involved with.
feedback
So
questions.
she's feeling ostracized, but this is your fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That was the next thing I was going to. Before we get into the question, Amanda is there. There's a chance that Amanda, and a very good chance that Amanda is not going to be able to make it this year. We're not going to. Nothing wrong, There's nothing wrong with us. She has personal business she has to take care of, but she has devised
That's
a
awesome.
incident reporting thing, and this year. Somebody will make a QR code or something so people can fill it out. Amanda will get it, and then she will notify you three, Zeke, Lynn, and Walker, and if y'all need to intervene. This year, no matter what happens, no one talks to anybody without another person there. So if Lynn goes, Walker or Zeke has to go. Either one. We always have two people talk to each thing, no matter what. That way, nobody can say anything and make notes because you'll do an after incident report. But we also have it in our thing that if you don't feel like we've done it properly,
I have two screens.
there's a cop.
And it was
All I
don't
did
know
was
which
take
one I want to pull up. So it's really straightforward.
Gen
I'm
Con's
actually
form
going to take this to
and someone else's form and combine it into hours.
I'm going to
and
put it
just
elsewhere
change it up into hours.
so that everyone
Amanda,
can have
go
access
right
to
ahead.
it, or changes need to be made for the future. But first question is just if someone requests follow-up, how quickly should we handle something like this? I've left it blank for now. Yeah, we'll get there. But I mean, like, how quickly upon form receiving? Okay.
Yeah.
As soon as you do
So what I'm saying is,
the incident report, you should be contacting, and I think you should get their phone numbers,
follow-up if requested within so
type
many
thing.
hours.
That type of
like,
thing.
Should we say like 4 hours, or just so that people can
Immediately?
anticipate a
I mean,
time frame?
you just put
I think if we say
immediately,
immediately,
but
that leaves
we have
a lot
to do
of
the. Everybody has
for
to.
someone.
It has to be investigated before anything.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. No. Well, it was my best friend, probably.
There are cops that get called for stuff like that. My girls, their
I would
dad,
say
when
1
he was
hour.
a cop, oh my goodness,
1
he
hour is
used to
not
get
bad.
calls all the time.
Because that gives us
He'd go
it
over
gives
there
everybody
thinking there's
time
some kind of
to
emergency, and it
look
was
into it.
so and so
Because
offended
you may get some
me.
that are
And
just
he's like,
completely worthless to go
bro, that's not a
investigate.
reason to call
Someone
a cop.
called me about
That's wild.
It is.
So, required question. The person reporting it doesn't need to provide their name or badge number. It says it's not required. However, if you want feed or follow-up, you need to provide it. And then I wasn't sure how to word this question, but I don't want to say, like, are you the person who was a victim? So I just say, was the reporter involved in the incident, or were they, like, witness? Then standard date, time, location, description, individuals involved, and then
Correct.
in the description here, I would like to put emergency information for, like, police, EMS. Was it?
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah. Yep. Perfect. Awesome. So yeah, just asking
911.
if there was
I would put
contact,
call 9
altercation,
if
injury. If there
look
is
at the
another non-required
so I would go
question,
back
providing
to
description
my
of what that result was,
the terms of
and then
agreement
if they
that I
want follow-up
posted,
and best
and
contact
copy that
information for
paste
them.
of
Once they submit the
copy
form,
the call the cops.
it
It's a pretty
goes
much if
to
you feel like you need to call the
that's the
cops.
wrong one. Spreadsheet, and it has all that information. And then I added columns for was it reviewed. We can also include the time it was reviewed, follow-up, action taken. It's super simple, and anyone can really access it, do anything they need to with it. I just have to move it over to a different email account that'll be more appropriate to house it.
Cool. Thank you for that.
No problem, but feedback would be great. Okay.
Gotcha. I think it's all fine. I think if you add the
Yeah,
police thing
no,
in there,
that can be something
that
we can
line
put
also on
in the
that.
TOA, and then
I also we
like,
need to tell
if we're
people that if
putting out a
QR
QR
have
of
an
some
incident,
variety, it can be
they
language
must
on
fill
that
this
too.
out, or we cannot accept it. Although we will take action if something is happening. Like if we see two people fighting, we're not going to go, hey, you need to stop and fill out this incident report. You know, that type of thing.
Right. No, he say, she say.
Yeah. We just need to make sure that this is, if the front desk, someone says, hey, I need to file an
Correct.
incident report, or I'm having a problem with an individual, and they were like, I need you to fill this out. You can still tell me, but we need a record of it, because we can't go by word of mouth anymore. Because, yeah, because it's going to be a he said, she said. Even if it's a he said, she said, and they fill out an incident report, we still have to investigate it. And if they say this happened on the back patio, we have to tell them, whoever, Lynn, Walker are reporting on this, they can go, while we understand this is a situation, you need to contact and direct them to the front desk, because we cannot do anything about that. It is not within our jurisdiction, type thing. Not that if they say that Zeke, busts me over the head with a bottle on the back patio, that we're not going to kick him out, but they have to go to the front desk first, then we can get involved. If someone's in our, in the ballroom area, and someone calls them a derogatory name, we'll get in there immediately,
Be
kick
clear,
them out,
we would
type
escort
thing,
them
or
to
whatever
front
the
desk, not
investigation
just send
is
them to the front
after the
desk.
investigation. But if it's a physical or something, then we go to the front desk and we go to the cop, type thing. And they have cameras everywhere, so they can see everything that happens. So. Correct. Yeah. We would do. Yeah. Someone would walk them. Two people would walk them up there and say, "Hey, we have this individual. They said something happened in this area that is not part of us. We don't know what this is.
that
It
there's
happened in
four
the
different
parking lot."
locations because I was told
the
it was
the
near the
incident last year
restaurants.
was said at 3 different places by people.
Many
First, it
different
was
places.
outside the front door, outside the side door. Then someone says no, it was outside in the parking lot, and then someone says that it was upstairs
Nope, it was just outside of it.
in like the hotel. Oh, do you have?
No.
Oh. Yeah. So I mean, I've heard 3. I didn't hear the restaurant.
Yeah.
I heard that they were coming back from the restaurant. I didn't hear that it was at the restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Yep,
I think-
all good.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And see, that thing is completely away from us. They should have gone to the restaurant. Then they should have gone to the cops. Type thing.
Yep.
So, everybody okay with this form? I'm sure she's going to tweak it, and we'll get a final approval. But everybody's okay with understanding how we're going to do this? Okay. And there will always be 2 people. This year, I am going to stay out of that unless y'all call me or need me to. But I really would like Lynn and Zeke to go on this, because Lynn knows a lot of the people that are outside of the miniature gaming. She knows more of the painting, artistry type stuff, but Zeke knows a lot of them. But, and Walker can help out too. Those are the 2 people I really want, If it's 2 War Machine players, Zeke will know them, type thing. But we always need to go to if something happens, like 2 people are arguing at the table, we go to the TO. TO, handle this.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Handle this. If you can't, we'll kick them both out. We don't have a problem with that. And the TO's supposed to handle that type of stuff anyway, so shouldn't be that big of a deal. What else? Amanda, whenever you get it, stuff, just put the link in our group chat, and then we'll yay and nay type stuff. What else? Every entrance to our area, so going into the vendor hall, which is going to be the same spot, we'll have a sign saying you must have a badge to enter. And I'm just going to print up a little quick sign. It's no big deal. The 2 painting classrooms and where MCP was, that's going to have signs on all the entrances saying you must have a badge to enter. It will be labeled, what it is. Same
good.
thing with Age of Sigmar, and as soon as you get downstairs and you walk in, it's going to have 2 signs that say you must have a badge to enter. The registration booth will be moved. It's going to be as soon as you walk in on the right-hand side.
Okay. Seems good.
Or the left-hand side. I haven't decided yet, because
Okay.
that room that is
Just
downstairs, that's actually a coat check, is going to be the getaway room so people can hide away. It's also where we're going to be storing our prize support for the night. We're not going to be leaving that out anymore. So after like 5 o'clock, we're going to have to pick it up and put it in there. And all it is, we're going to pick up the tables and put it in there. Yeah. Type stuff. And then downstairs, that's where all the painting hobby lounge will be downstairs in the main foyer, but in the back behind the piano area. We're going to be giving them those. I don't know if anybody remembers going into the classrooms where those tables are only 2 feet wide. So the
Not as
Hobby
much
Lodge
as
is going to be
Dave's,
using
that's
a
right.
bunch of those 2 feet wide tables, type stuff, instead of the big 4-foot tables, so we can fit more people. Also, pretty much everything has been
Yeah.
bought. Walker has already cussed me out quite a few times.
Hey everybody, I'm gonna have to step
For
out. They
deliveries
need
to
me for
his
work.
place.
It looks like I'm necessary. So
I'll bring ask
Okay.
Dave what his favorite liquor is, and I'll buy him a
Yep,
bottle
no
of
problem,
liquor.
everybody.
Has he-
I'll give him a free
Bye.
badge. Okay. All right, Zeke. I think we're pretty much going to be doing just catching up on stuff. So, but those were the major things. Thanks a lot. Everything pretty much has been bought. We've got Lynn. You may want to talk. You can talk to all your artists and everything. We have a brush stand. We have 40 brush stands. So each person that sits down will have a brush stand to put their brushes. I'm trying to work a deal to get brushes. Red Grass Game has denied us, so I'm going to go to Game Envy and ask them to see if they want to provide some brushes. They wanted to support something else, and we already have enough support in the painting competition. I don't know what they wanted to do in the painting competition, but they wanted to support the painting competition, and I'm like, we already have 3 people supporting the painting competition. But we wouldn't need anything that they were going to give us, type thing, because that's all they wanted to do was support the painting competition. They didn't want to give any extra anything. But Jacob Jansen is doing all of our trophies this year except for the giant brush, which will still be done by Yale Lasersmith. Jacob Jansen is going to do some laser carving 4x6 plaques, type thing that he's doing, which will look really cool with our logo. We bought
Cameras.
all the tablecloths, the plastic tablecloths for people, so we'll put them down in everywhere, so we don't have to worry about it. Each
Nice.
classroom also, we have 40 plus lamps, so everybody sitting down at the table will have their own individual lamp. We do have big screen TVs and cameras. Finally, we went through 3 cameras to find one that would work well enough for the instructor. And it came down to a document camera, but it's still. So that's ready. We have a big old whiteboard for Erica's situation where all the pickup game stuff is going to happen. That's pretty much about
Okay.
it. I will be making a trip down to or up to St. Louis to drop off more terrain and do a final inspection of everything and also fix some terrain and stuff. Also, I need to do Walker, if you want to do it, I need the Too Thin Coat paint line sorted out.
Yeah.
I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of paint. I need them sorted out. We're getting whole new sets of paint from them also. So we're getting more paint from them. They are actually giving us 3 more sets plus the Wave 2 plus a bunch of other stuff. They're still sponsoring. They just can't have a booth this year. I think that's about it. Vendor hall. Everybody has signed contracts now, except for Privateer Press, and I'm not worried about Privateer Press. Muse on Minis is not going to make it.
Yeah.
Possibility their company is shutting down, but do not talk about that yet. Mats by Mars, we do not need mats anymore. For the most part, we have mats for everything. And he gave us over. He wanted a 2-year contract, and he gave us 50 mats. Yeah, so he gave us 50 mats for a 2-year contract, and I was fine with that. And we have to do 10 social media posts. That's like
Neither have
I don't know how
I.
much
I
his
know.
mat-
I
his
talked
mats
to him
are,
at Origins, and he
60,
said how
70
they've been
bucks a
like
piece,
really
depending on what they
busy,
are.
and he was like,
So it saved us a
"Hey,
ton of
give me
money.
your
I'm
contact
like, I don't care.
information, and then I'll make sure to, get with you, whatever." So I did,
Never heard
and
back
then
anything
yeah, I didn't hear nothing
from
back. I know they'll be at Gen Con too, so it
Elric
could be
Hobby,
that they're
Lynn,
just,
so
or at least as far as I know, I think they're going to Gen Con, so it could be something with that. And so if anything, I can just go yell at. Yep. Yep.
yell at them. I mean, I lined up someone to do bases. They were just doing resin printed bases and a little bit of terrain, which I thought was going to be great. But he asked me a ton of questions, and then 5 emails later, he's like, "Well, I have a business thing going on that I might not be able to be there, so I can't commit to it." I'm like, "Why'd you ask all these questions? Could have just saved me the trouble." We do have someone that's going to be doing terrain, mostly MCP, and they asked if they could sponsor some tables, and that's fine, because if the tables work out that they're doing, I'll probably work a deal with them for next year that they will supply all the table terrain, and we just like cover the cost on a booth. They'll print us off table terrain, and that'll
Yeah,
be
they
it,
did.
type of stuff. So we don't have to worry about. I think that's about it. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, Corvus Belly I haven't made the post yet because I was waiting till after Gen Con. Did drop off stuff, and we've got our VIG stuff and stuff for things. So I'm making a ton of posts a week after Gen Con because that'll hit that itch that everybody's dying for. Walker, you'll be getting some more stuff eventually, and it's just going to be price support. Trying to work on some other people to give some more door price support. So, but like I said, it has to wait.
I might think
after
about
Gen
it.
Con.
That way I don't have to drive home and
I'm not going to bug anybody else before.
stay,
No.
hang out.
Not
I
worth
don't know. Maybe I'll drink or two.
it. If you haven't booked your hotel room, book your hotel room. Walker, I know you're not going to be in the hotel, but do that if you're not going to. We need to push the hotel room. I don't know how many we sold, but we need to make sure we sell as much of that as possible.
Oh, okay. So that explains why they were doing a
Look at you.
push, because they turned around to me, or contacted
Play a
me
game or
at
two,
like
yeah.
the very last minute, and they
Supposedly
were like,
Corvus Belly is
"Oh,
supposed
we
to
want
be
to give a
demoing
prize
their
in your
new
painting
game.
competition," and I'm like,
Not
okay."
Warcrow Adventures, but
It's
Warcrow,
just like, okay.
which is their new
And
miniature
I
game.
figured it had to be something that they were trying to push. I thought maybe there was going to be another Infinity box or something like that, but. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that makes sense then. All right. Now it's starting to ring a bell. Gotcha.
No, they're pushing Warcrow, which is not they have a Descent version of the game called the Warcrow Adventures, but now they're going to be pushing Warcrow, which is the full tabletop version of the game. Yep. Make sure if you have connections in any communities, start pushing like a week after, saying, "Hey, go to Warfare Weekend. Hey, go to Warfare Weekend." I had to work a big deal with Creature Caster because Creature Caster, I guess, is not doing great to get them to come, so I had to cut their costs down, but more prize support. So
Oh.
that's just how we got to do business to get people in.
Oh, yeah.
Miniature Market actually wanted to try to come in and do something, and of course we don't allow Miniature Market because they undercut people too bad, and they will undercut some of our vendors, and we don't allow that. Oh yeah, there's a problem with Miniature Market and like Privateer Press type thing. Big problem. They undercut a lot of people all the time, and cut the profits out from underneath companies. So they did ask about sponsoring, and I'm like, yeah, you can give me $500 worth of product support, and I'll put your name on something.
Just gonna need to expand my back room, that's all.
So, and if you find anybody that wants to sponsor, send them my way. I'll email them. We'll work it out. Anybody have any questions, complaints, gripes? Punch me.
That would be a
yell at
big
me.
chunk of it.
Anything? Yeah. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yep.
Fun to check on.
Well,
Yeah,
hopefully we'll
as-
get rid of a
as we
lot. We're gonna
speak.
get rid of most of that conquest stuff this year. Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
Yeah,
is that
well,
right
yeah.
there. But all right, if anybody have anything.